You guys have a game tonight? Why are you wearing that jersey or just?
No, I'm just wearing it. I wish we had a
Sure.
game tonight. I think we're away tomorrow.
Okay. I don't even. I'm at the point of the season where I don't even know. Well, I guess I won't waste that.
All right.
Fuck that. College corner.
Oh crap! I forgot to do the everything. We're good on that point. Adding the thumbnail, and then we should be good to start. So we're starting at 10, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. We're on YouTube. I'm gonna check and see what the volume sounds like.
Ooh, I pulled up as well.
All right, do a little test.
There we go. Oh, I like that. Test.
Yeah, all right. I think we sound good.
All right. It sounds good to me. Wait, when did we hit 100 subscribers?
I don't know. What are we at? We at
We
100,
did.
Avon?
100. Yep.
Nice. Look at that.
Wish I knew who it was.
We might be able to check. Also, I was supposed to upload some videos this week, but I had 2 tests on Thursday.
Yeah, no, you're good. I need to post our top 5 still. They're up spin.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that shit. Now I'm sending it. Okay. You want to get started? So
We just do an NBA and then College Corner will start with the video game.
yep. And I think that's about.
And then what about the cards? We doing the cards?
Yeah. We'll do that after. We'll do that
Okay.
after then. Actually, we'll do that. We'll stick that with the NBA, and then we'll do College Corner after that.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
All right. So, wait. I was just about to start talking before we get started. Do you want to do honorable mentions before we do number 10, or do you want to do honorable mentions before?
Let's do them after.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, guys who just missed the list.
Because then we'll talk about all the teams that we missed.
All right. Well, then let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys podcast. I am your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
Doing well, Chris. Hopefully our audio sounds well to everyone out there. If anyone is on the YouTube, let us know. We don't want to have to. I don't want to have to edit afterwards, but I think we sound good. We checked it ourselves, and we got the NBA's back. We had games last night. But we're doing at post All-Star break top 10 power rankings for our team, for the teams in the NBA. And we're just gonna run through it and start the conversation there. So we're gonna start off at number 10 and work our way up. And at number 10, a team that has been struggling, but I couldn't keep off the list just because of their talent and the potential with all three of the players playing together is the Phoenix Suns. Number 10.
Okay, I had them a little higher actually.
Really? Okay.
We gotta. I don't know if you watched the Suns Mavs game last night of the TNT game, but that was like a. It felt like a perfect game that described the Suns' entire season, where like there are stretches of the game where they can't miss a shot and they look like the best team in the world, and then the next 3 minutes they throw the ball away 6 times and can't get a stop on defense. And it's like when they're playing their best, they're unbeatable, but it's just like we talked about it before. They need a freaking point guard to run their offense, and
Yeah,
like I
that's
don't
the
think they're
key.
any better with Beal on the floor than they are with him off it. So it's just like the talent is there. It's just not the right selection of guys. So, like, that's where I'm at with this team.
Yeah, I agree the same way. They when all the guys are hitting their shots, as you said, they're all great offensive players. They're all able to make their own shot and play their own game, but they need the guy to facilitate and the guy to get the ball to everyone. And when you're running Bradley Beal and Devin Booker as your point guards, it's just not gonna the flow of basketball is not gonna be the same as if you had a real point guard. Even if they had like a
Mhm.
I know he's out of the league like now, but a couple years ago, Rondo, someone like that, someone who could just pass him the
Yeah,
ball, get some rebounds, play some defense. And
Pat Dev type even.
yeah, he was available at the deadline. Could have had him, but they had no. I mean, they really had like no assets to go out. But
Yeah,
yeah, even a Kyle, like even a. I mean, I hate Kyle Lowry. I wouldn't want him on my team. I'm not gonna lie. Even if I'm the Suns that need a point guard. They're gonna try to find a way to make it work. And what worries me is in the playoffs, when you have 7 games of a team without a point guard, I think you're gonna be able to figure that out pretty quickly.
yeah. That's the thing is like if you can win a lot of games on just talent alone,
And they
but
have it.
eventually,
They
and
have the talent.
yeah, they have it. They have arguably more talent than anybody outside of probably the Clippers. Um, but I know I've made this point a couple times about how this isn't quite the same NBA as we had a couple years ago, and it's not just a super team driven league where a team like the Nuggets last year, where all those guys play such complementary basketball night in and night out, those teams are harder to stop than the teams that have just the three superstars. Because I think it's much harder to game plan for.
That
And
I think
they don't have a guy who has like three huge strengths like Jokic does, passing, rebound, and scoring.
and when you have a team like the Nuggets who have all cohesive parts that know how to work together, you can switch up the game plan on the fly and you can say, "Oh, instead
Mhm.
in game 2, like this is what we saw in game 1. In game 2, this is how we got to attack it differently." With the superstar teams, it's always like we're just going to play our type of ball and
Yeah.
and we're going to run it through the stars and um there's easier to figure out as you said, easy to game plan against. So
Well,
yeah.
it's also like if Booker has an off night, then it's all on Durant.
Yeah.
Or if Durant has an all off night, it's all on Booker.
And Beal, I
And
guess.
if Beal throw him in there, yeah, why not? But it's like it's also the defense with this team that worries me a little bit, especially come playoff time. Like right now they're 14th in defense, and just all the stats that I'm getting are just from like NBA.com, the like
They have
advanced
great
stats.
stats
But it's
there.
just defensive rating is the only thing I'm looking at. Defensive and offensive rating.
I
So
love the
they're middle of the
stats
pack in
on.
defense right now. You what?
I said I love the stats on NBA.com. I'm not gonna lie. I think
Yeah.
their stats page is amazing.
You can go down a rabbit hole and
Oh
just like
yeah.
cherry pick stats that
Find a way to
help.
make the Wizards the best team in the league.
Yeah,
Well, if you
bro.
look at this one stat,
It's tough.
that'd actually be pretty tough.
They do lead the league in pace. I saw when I was looking. So
What?
there you
How the
go. They're
hell do you
they're the
how do
most
you
fun team to watch.
how do you measure pace?
like shots per
Oh,
minute, I think,
okay. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
and they play such bad defense that they're always
They're
facing
always in
teams deep so
transition.
quickly.
They're basically always in
Yes,
transition basketball.
yeah, no, they because they never set up a defense.
So is that your number
Uh,
10?
anyway,
No,
no,
no, I'm
they're
just kidding.
what the Wizards.
Yeah, the Wizards.
With Jordan Poole coming off the bench, they're now a top 10 team. But um, anyway, so that's my riff on the Suns.
So who's your number 10 team?
I have the Knicks.
Oh,
I think
okay.
this is a team that's like just outside of that window of being a real championship contender. But for the first time that I can remember, they're actually doing things the right way as an organization, and they're banged up right now, which also doesn't help the rankings. They're really hot before the break for a little while. I'm sure that kind of run isn't sustainable, but this is a team that could easily be a top 4 team in the East and maybe even better. I love Brunson. I think they've surrounded him with good complementary guys. I just think that eventually they're not going to have enough talent to go deep into the playoffs. So that's why they're out on that bubble.
I agree with what you're saying. I have them a little bit higher than you. And
Okay.
during the rest of this regular season, I think they're going to be spectacular. I think they're probably going to end the season as I mean, hell, they could catch up to the 2 seed if they really,
Hmm.
kept going with this pace. And as you were saying, Brunson he's the man in New York right now. Completely owns that city. And they've put in the right pieces around him. They're building this team correctly. Everything you said. And the worry piece is come playoff time is Julius Randle going to be, pouting on the sidelines and getting benched in the fourth quarter?
Well, and is he even going to be out there?
Yeah.
Like he could be shut down for the year if he has to get surgery, which apparently is not ruled out yet.
Oof, I didn't know
So
that.
that would be a pretty big blow.
That would be a big
I
blow.
don't know
They
if there's
they
that's
they need
just
some
like
help
something
on
he said
defense
and was
too.
just like, you never know, or
I was saying they need some defense help too. Where especially if they don't have Randall and they're going to be facing big players like um you know I mean if Embiid's healthy, but actually no, he's out for the year, right? Done, completely done, confirmed.
no. And I think Embiid's coming back at some point,
All right, possible for the
unless
playoffs.
there's an update.
But Giannis and the Celtics have a bunch of size. They're gonna need just the big body of Julius Randle out there. So
Yeah, I think Robinson should be coming back soon. I think, which helps them a lot in the front court on defense.
yeah, they and
Because he's just like
rebounding.
an old school big man, just
Mm-hmm.
like stand in the paint, block shots, get boards. Whereas Randall can stretch the floor out a little more. But they need that's a must. They have to get those guys back on the floor.
Mm-hmm. They need him
I don't
playing.
think that's it's gonna hold him back. I mean, like Randall's their freaking second best player, so it's a pretty big deal.
But they're in the right direction, 100%. They're doing the right
Yeah, yeah,
things.
for sure.
They have the player to build around in Brunson, and they know it. Um, this playoffs and this offseason is going to be a big telling sign to like they've already shown that they wanted to upgrade. They've gotten OG Anunoby. They've got Bogdan
Mhm.
Bogdanovic. Um, is Randall on the table this summer for some bigger fish?
I think if there's gonna be a big move, it comes this summer. Because I think this playoff is gonna show that they're not ready, and with this core around Brunson, like there's a ceiling, and it's not the final. That's my belief, at least. I could be wrong, but
I agree. I think this is. I mean, the Knicks fans themselves. They're talking about Eastern Conference Finals. Talking about going to the finals.
possible.
It is possible. But I think there's definitely a world where they get punched in the mouth round one
Yeah.
and shown that they need a little bit more than what they have right now. But I do like their team a lot. What they have. All right, number
All right,
9.
you're number 9. Who you got?
This might shock some people. It's not gonna shock
That's
you.
fair.
Uh, it's the Miami Heat. Number 9.
Okay.
I
I
don't. I just don't care what their regular season looks like.
I know.
I
I
get
know.
it. I understand. And if the Celtics get to 1 seed, which they're pretty much locked into the 1 seed, I'm praying that the Heat get the 7 seed. Just praying.
You can't lose to him again. There's
No,
no
and
way.
not yeah. I know, but like, I just can't do it. I can't do
I
it
know.
anymore. So I don't care what they still have 3 great players on their team. They got Scary Terry on the trade deadline. They have the pieces. They'll be there. They have Jaime Jaquez. They're
Yep.
going to be a tough out in this playoffs, no matter what. No matter what they've looked
Yeah.
like this whole regular season.
Yeah. No, I didn't put them on my list just because I was focusing more on like what these teams look like right now.
Hmm.
Which is why like the Sixers aren't on my list. But I threw the Heat an honorable mention just because like if we were doing this power rankings in like mid-April right before the playoffs started, and I was just ranking like the teams, basically the teams that I don't want to see in the playoffs, the Heat would definitely be on my list, probably even higher than mine.
Oh, I didn't know they got DeLon right. They signed him like
Yeah, the
5
Wizards
days
bought him
ago.
out.
Damn it! Of course the Heat had to get him. They're just like they're
It's like
30.
8 minutes a game.
They're
Fine.
30 and 25, and their points per game is like 27th. They're just almost everything about them screams that they're mediocre. But this is the same. It's the same thing as last year. So
Mhm.
I can't deal with this anymore. Can't do it. I'm gonna
Yeah, I mean they're objectively mediocre
yeah.
by every metric.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even like below 22nd in offensive rating. They are ninth in defense. In let's see, in net rating they're 17th. So yeah, nothing special about this team. But you're right, like it does not matter.
They'll find a way to be there. They will find a way to be there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
All right. What's your number 9?
I have the Cleveland Cavaliers. Um, like the more I think
Okay.
about it, and we'll get to this team too, but the Cavs are a pretty good comparison for the Timberwolves, just on in the other conference. Like if you think about how that team is structured, like I
Yeah.
think the Cavs have a little more firepower on offense. Um, but like you got the two bigs, they're third in defense, and then you have one like incredible scorer, and then like when he's off, you struggle a little bit. Like Garland's obviously a really good point guard, but he's not on Mitchell's level. Um, and this is kind of another team where it's like they're right on that bubble where I think their ceiling is probably Eastern Conference Finals, just from a talent standpoint. I think that this roster construction, like, there's no reason to break it up because it's been so successful just winning basketball games. But like this is the test this year because this is the second year with Mitchell or third.
I believe it's a second.
Okay,
Here.
but there's already like buzz about him leaving, right?
Yeah, I think at the end of this year he is a is he might have 1 year left. I'm looking it
But
up.
regardless, like time, it feels like time is ticking on this current roster construction, and like if they can't get deep into the playoffs this year, then Mitchell's probably gone.
Yeah, he has the next 2 seasons. He has a player option for 25, 26.
Okay,
And I would I would assume that he would be just pushing to leave. Yeah,
yeah,
he'll be a free agent in 2025. So, next season.
gotcha. Okay,
So it's at
so he's locked into one more
and
year.
it's that NBA like nowadays the stars, especially like guys like we assume guys like Mitchell who get a lot of money and score a lot of points and are really good at basketball. Those guys have used the year before free agency as their own leverage, as like a pre-agency where
Hmm.
it's like well, you better trade me or else you're gonna lose me for nothing in free agency.
Yeah,
So, maybe
it's
we could see some of
it's a
that going
shame.
down. And when you like, it's gonna be every time that Garland and Mitchell are on the floor together. It's like they're both making each other a little bit worse.
Yeah, I mean that stretch where Garland was out, like Mitchell
Yeah,
was the
Mitchell was an
best player in
MVP
the NBA. It
candidate.
felt like.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a weird situation.
And with the
I was
front court, it's almost the same situation because Evan Mobley is yet to develop a jump shot. So he's pretty much the same role as Jared Allen.
wow, yeah, Allen can't freaking shoot.
So you can't have two non-shooting centers at the floor at the same time and
Mhm,
two ball handling point guards on the floor at the same time. So they have to come with a decision on which two they're taking, really. And like I guess you could keep the model for another year, but like the reason why Minnesota works with two big men is because Karl Anthony Towns can actually shoot the ball and shoot the three pretty
mhm.
well. Calls himself the best shooting big man of all time. So, but
I mean, you want a 3-point contest.
he did win a 3-point contest. So you need to see that step up from Evan Mobley, and really just like clear defined roles within the team, which would scare me
Mhm.
with them. But I have them. Like that being said, I have them at 8. Their talent is there, and I mean I loved what Mitchell looked like without Garland out there.
I think that's a good point. Is that like if we're doing the Timberwolves comparison, they do fit better together. Where this team, it's like it's almost like you're jamming him in there. Like I feel like Mobley should be a true center,
Mm-hmm.
but he's playing next to Allen, and like Mitchell's not a point guard, but he's like he could be your point guard, and Garland could also play shooting guard. Like he's not that prototypical point guard. Although I don't know if he's big enough to play shooting guard. Yeah, he's only 6'1". He's got to play point. But yeah, it will be interesting to see how they handle that.
I mean I like it's a better problem than most teams have. They have redundant talent
That's true.
compared to no
Yeah.
talent. So they should
Yeah,
be
and
fine.
hopefully they can pull off a move where like both teams actually benefit,
Hmm.
as rare as those are.
Kind of like when Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox were on the same team, and it was like almost both teams won when
Yeah,
Halliburton got traded and Sabonis went there.
right. Yeah, exactly like that.
So that could definitely be that could definitely be their future.
Yeah,
And that was your number 9.
I like that comparison. That was 9.
All right,
My wait, you
my
said that
8.
you had them at 8.
Yeah, my 8's Cleveland. So we just went through that.
Okay, all right. I had the Suns at 8 too. We already talked about.
All right,
I think I had them a little higher than you just based on talent. Like I couldn't put the Cavs next ahead of them.
that makes sense.
Like when I line up Kevin
Do you
Durant and Booker up against Brunson or Mitchell, it's like
since we already brought
I don't really
back
care what the rest of the team looks like.
the Suns for a second, did you see last night's game? The woman and the dude who called Kevin Durant a bitch on the
Yes.
sideline right when he was running out. So, for everyone who doesn't know, he was running out of the tunnel. They have courtside seats. She calls him a bitch, and he walks over and he's like, "Excuse me."
Was
Like,
it her or him they called him that?
pretty sure it's her. Look like her.
Just left her hand out there too.
Yeah, she comes like he comes up, comes to confront him. She like comes to try to dap him up. Oh, Kevin Durant. Oh my god, they're wearing Mavs
He just
jerseys.
starts slobbing him.
Yeah, exactly. And the guy, he ruins it for the whole industry. He goes, I got a sports podcast.
Yeah,
And
he
then and
did
then
say that.
and
Yeah.
then and then Kevin walks away immediately.
No,
Just completely ruined it for all of us. I personally
that was
never
bad
felt
look for podcasters.
I was when I watched that, I was like, this is a bad look on me. Like I feel bad. Like this
Yeah,
is a bad look.
I felt that way too.
Just
We would never say that about Kevin Durant.
also, I will checkle the college players, but I don't ever like you're never gonna call them directly a bitch. Like that's just lame. I'm sure people do that
That's
all
what
the time.
Kevin Durant.
And it's Kevin Durant, yeah. And he's professionals. Like I
Yeah,
of course, I don't think I'll ever be close enough where any professional can hear me. But if I
that's
did,
true. Yeah, if
I
win
would
the lottery, or
especially
a nice
the
parlay.
like if it's George Niang, like sure, maybe you could call him a bitch. But like this is Kevin Durant we're
What?
talking
George Niang
about.
or Grant Williams?
Grant Williams, yeah, exactly. Some role player, like you could probably get away with that, but you can't get away with calling Kevin Durant a
You
bitch.
also like you got to know that he's probably gonna stop
Oh
when
yeah,
you say that
he's
too,
petty. You
because you
gotta know
assume he
he's
is.
petty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he did
for
not
for a
like that.
sports
If it was
part.
the playoffs, I would be okay with it.
Okay, yeah,
Like, all right, yeah, get in his head.
yeah, get in his head. That would make sense.
Although I don't like that's not even getting in his head. Like people calling him a bitch every day.
I know. Online on Twitter all the time.
You know, he doesn't like it though,
Clearly, he doesn't
which
like
is
it.
really funny. I mean, like I wouldn't like it, but in all fairness,
No, I would
he does.
I
It feels like
completely
he does
agree
have
with Kevin
a lot of
there.
conversations about it.
Yo, yeah, but I 100% agree with Kevin in there. I would walk up to him right away. The hell you doing?
You should have just said, "How much money did you pay for these seats?"
Yeah,
Because of me.
yeah, to come see
That's
me.
what you should have
You
said.
know, Georgia. This is getting off on a tangent real quick, but when Georgia beat us at home, when the one of the Georgia players was like, uh, "You got like when we were like yelling at him during the warm ups, he was like, "You guys paid to watch me play," and we were like, "We paid nothing, man." Like we just like we didn't pay shit, nor did we come here to see you. But that yeah, was
Tickets are free, pal.
yeah, so yeah, look it up, bud. Tickets are free. All right, to keep this ball moving, I have the Knicks at 7, so go ahead with your 7.
Okay. I have the Mavs at 7. Um,
Ooh, okay.
did you leave him out or did you have him
I didn't
higher?
have him. I didn't have him.
Okay. All right. Good. Because I honestly I wanted to put him higher, and I couldn't just because of like
Ooh, okay.
where they're at in the standings right now and what their ratings are. But this team, like, I think this could be the year that the Mavs really take a step forward. Like, I don't understand how Luca is not one in the MVP race. He has the best numbers out of anyone,
I would agree with that.
and I guess like
He's insane.
you can't argue that like I guess you could say Shy is like they've had a much better year and they're the 2 seed, but Luka's almost averaging a triple double, which is like what Jokic is averaging. But he's averaging like 10 more points than Jokic is. I actually don't understand it, and I might bet on him to win. I feel like as much as people love Luca, it's like he's fourth in the MVP ladder somehow, which just doesn't make any sense to me. But like this team is watching them play offense is unbelievable.
Yeah, and they really have gotten the right pieces. It seems like around him after this trade deadline. Like clearly, Grant Williams wasn't working
Hmm.
out, and they upgraded with PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, and they needed some players like that to help them on defense specifically. So if those could come into fruition, and Kyrie and Luca can just score all the points, like nobody else has to score on this team. Like just give those two the ball,
No,
and everyone else just play defense and hit your shots when they pass it to you guys.
yeah, all you have to do is hit wide open threes because when
Yeah.
he takes it in the paint, he's got 3 guys on him, and he's
Hmm.
gonna find you every time if he doesn't just take the and one bucket, which
No,
is just
and
so easy for. Like I don't think no one other than like Harden is that good at and ones.
yeah, he's figured it out. He's completely figured it out.
It's just
The
like those little baby hesitations that throw guys off.
and
It's so easy for him.
the stopping.
Body control is unbelievable. Yeah.
So
Yep.
when you like they've gotten actually like I don't know much about Josh Green. I won't lie. Doesn't seem like
He's
he
a
doesn't
bum.
move me at all. Yeah, he doesn't move me at all. But he's still young, and if they could just fill out that role, that like small
Hmm.
forwardish role, that's all they really need. And I guess or a second
Yeah.
guard and have Luca play the small forward as he's built to play. He's a point guard that's uh, like 200 something pounds. But 230, 6'7" point guard. Anyways,
He is hilarious to look at.
yeah, he's a little pudgy.
No, he's a lot pudgy.
He's definitely got that.
He also, like, we were watching last night, and, like, he literally looks like he could be your next door neighbor. Fancy cut, like, doesn't in shape. Like, if I just walked outside and saw him mowing the grass, I'd be like, oh, like, some guy.
Yeah, I can
And he
see
steps
that.
on the floor and he presses you for 48 minutes. Like, there's no stopping him. I'd love to see somebody stop him. I don't know how you do it.
No, yeah, he's a master. He's masterful with basketball. All right, you
The thing
sold
about
me on the
this team is,
Mavs.
like, I don't know about the depth.
They don't have
Right?
much
Like,
depth. It's better than it has been in
no,
the past because like you're now
it's
you're
a
getting
lot better.
You're getting Tim Hardaway off the bench now, which I like.
I like Hardaway.
I don't mind Kleba.
Kleber is, he's a 0.
Yeah, the issue is the Derrick Jones Jr., the Kleba, Jaden Hardy even kind of trash. Dwight Powell doesn't even play anymore. He hasn't played in like 2 years, I don't think. So,
Although when you get in
one
the
more guy
playoffs
off
and
the
you're like
bench.
cutting down a 7-8 man rotation, like that might be okay.
Yeah, I mean they could have an 8-man rotation
Gotta get there.
with Hardaway and Gafford on the bench. Yeah, they got to get there, but they're out of the play-in conversation. They're at the 5 seed.
Yeah, I mean they've quietly won 7 games in a row. I think they're the hottest team in the league right now.
I didn't know that. I'm looking at that right now.
The Celtics have won 7 in a row as well. But yeah,
that's pretty typical. You sold
like a
me.
normal week in Boston.
You sold me.
This is such recency bias too because I watched the whole game last night and I don't watch that many games. I was like, I'm like drooling over watching them play basketball. And Kyrie will have like,
and it's funny because they're
14 points.
They're eviscerating the Suns, who we've already been over, has no defense whatsoever.
Yeah.
So we'll give it a couple more games with the new roster, and maybe.
Yeah, that's right.
But they're definitely are itching the top 10 for me. You sold me. All right. Okay. What? I was gonna do some hypothetical, but there's no point until the offseason because they can't make any roster moves. What's next?
Yeah, what is it? I'm just curious.
I was just gonna say, like, what kind of guy would you add to have with Luka and Kyrie? Like, if not even like a big, like, just like
I think like give me like 4 3-and-D guys.
I was just gonna say, give me KCP.
Like 4. Give me like
just give me KCP.
Yeah, KCP. Give me Trevor Ariza.
Yep.
Give me freaking like Robert Covington.
Yeah.
I want those guys. Give them all. That's what they should be looking for.
They need a Morris brother. I think they've already had a couple Morris brothers.
Morris brother.
But they definitely need another one.
A Bruce Brown off the bench would be sick.
Oh, that would be excellent for them. Bruce Brown would be perfect with Luka.
Prime Iguodala. Not even prime, like slightly post prime, but still playable. Anyway.
What you got? What we got? 6?
6? Yeah, you're up.
Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh, okay. I have the Bucks as well.
Ooh, look at that. All right. The Bucks.
I almost kept knocking them down. You can't be losing to the Grizzlies, man.
G. Jackson.
It can't happen.
Don't sleep.
G. Jackson, yeah. Fair enough.
They're in trouble. They're in trouble, and I don't like any of the quotes that Doc Rivers is saying. Like Doc Rivers comes out like every week, and he's like, "This is hard, guys. Dude. You guys know this is hard, right? Not a lot of people do this."
He's like, "I wanted to wait till the All-Star break to take this job, but I just couldn't help myself, and I had to step in."
And
shut up, Doc. You're playing with freaking Giannis. No excuses.
And he's always like, the quote this week I heard Doc Rivers comes out and says 2 other teams were interested in giving me a call before he took the Bucks job. It's like, what? What are these quotes accomplishing? And that's what I don't understand with any of his quotes. What have they been accomplishing this past couple weeks? It's hard to do this midseason. Oh, these players need to get on board, and it's hard to send a message. I like what's he try? He's just trying to throw his team under the bus. Why did he take and I'm just keep thinking about quotes now. Another one that he said he called when the Bucks called him up for the job. He said, "This is a bad idea," and then he took it anyways. Like what? Like who are you kidding, Doc?
I like if he didn't have that ring with the Celtics, where is he at today? Like, seriously.
I don't know. I really don't know. And you
Like,
know,
what is his resume? He wins games in the regular season with star players
and then he
and
blows
then
3-1
never wins in the
leads.
playoffs. Like,
He got
he's gotten the most chances out of anyone who has like not that impressive of a resume, if you look at it.
oh,
The Clippers team was freaking loaded every year. And he goes to the Sixers and coaches Embiid. And like now he's taking over this job with Giannis and they still suck.
and they're almost like I don't know if they're worse, but they like the past 5 games they've won like 2. They had that game against the
Yeah.
Nuggets where the
When did he
Nuggets
take
gave up, and then they beat the Hornets. And like
Yeah.
that's
Congrats.
yeah. They're
Yeah.
in some
And they've all
trouble.
like they got blown out by the Heat at home, which is rough. And then losing to the Grizzlies by any margin in any location is rough
Blown out by the Jazz.
when you're Milwaukee. Yeah, that's not
Lost
good
to the
either.
Trailblazers on the 31st.
Mhm.
Like these are teams at the bottom of the league, man. You can't be losing the Trailblazers.
No. Timberwolves smoked them too.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
Timberwolves put the hammer on them at
now
home.
they got to go back. Like they got to go back to Minnesota tonight after losing to the Grizzlies.
I know they
It
had
like
the
it's
All Star
not a good,
break.
and then they have to go to Philly.
Hopefully, like this
Yeah,
is
you think like that was like the recuperation period for them.
hopefully, hopefully this week they Doc Rivers got together with his team and coached them a little bit. I don't know what. Yeah,
All that being said, we still have them at 6.
I know because they have
Like,
Giannis.
what's your explanation?
They have Giannis, and that's all that matters. Giannis this year has been
Yeah,
more
right.
locked in than I've seen him ever. He looks like a madman out there. He's angry.
He
He
could win MVP.
he could win MVP, but they need to. They can't be 3-7 in their past 10 for
Yeah.
for them to. I like they're come playoff time when if as long as Doc doesn't have his hands, I guess, too full, if the players are playing, I think they're better than Cleveland. I think they're better than the Knicks. I think they're better than the Sixers.
Yeah.
Well, Sixers without Embiid. I don't know with Embiid or not, but like, there's no
He's still better.
one on any of those. No one in the East besides this. I mean, bias, but bleed green, baby. Besides the Celtics, they don't have. No one else has size to compete with
Mhm.
Giannis at this point because you can say Cleveland has size, but they're got like we just talked about how their two big men don't have offense. The Knicks have size with Randall, but it's Julius Randle, and the Sixers don't have Embiid as of currently. So
Mhm.
there's a ton in their way that because with the dull Doc Rivers and stuff, but they still have the talent and probably the best player in the league on their team.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, you have to believe that oh, I guess it's regress to the mean. Although
Mm-hmm.
regress is good in this situation. Um, they're 17th in defensive rating, which like I don't know if you can be a real contender and be that low in
It's
defense.
it's pretty crazy what
If they
happens when
won
you
an offense, it'd be one thing, but
it's crazy what happens when you win or when you get rid of your defensive point guard for offensive
yeah,
point guard. Changes a lot.
yep.
But I mean, I hope maybe Pat Bev helps in a couple games. Maybe he gets his feeding.
Yeah.
Who knows? Um, Still a long way to go. That's kind of the point of this list. Next up,
Mhm.
5. I wonder if what if we nailed this? That would be such a wise guys thing if we just nailed this top
That
6.
would be funny.
Clippers.
All right, what do you got? Okay. Phew, I have the Timberwolves.
All right, nice. Um,
You go first. Sorry about the Clippers.
all right, Clippers. Possibly the deepest team in the league. Uh, Kawhi Leonard has been playing like Kawhi Leonard from Toronto. Um, the Harden has been playing well. He hasn't been pouting yet. Westbrook's great off the bench. Paul George is healthy and playing. They don't even use PJ Tucker. Terrence Mann's out there. Norman Powell's great for them. I love the Daniel Tice Mason Plumlee combo and Zubac, just like the interchangeable foreign white guys. It's like, oh, one of the centers is just some European.
Plumlee's not European.
Who? Yeah, Plumlee. Oh, where's
Plumlee.
is he
He's
American?
American, right?
I don't know.
They all went to Duke. All the Plumlee brothers.
Yeah, he's from Fort Wayne, Indiana. He looks like he's from Indiana.
He does look like he's from.
um, but they're a really fun team to watch. And they have one of the best coaches in the league in Ty Lue. There's nothing like that. I don't know what to say about this team because they just kind of are hitting it on all cylinders right now. They could use like come playoff time. It'll be interesting to see who wants the ball late in the game. If Harden wants to be this unselfish like he has been all season. What if Westbrook's still going to be content off the bench? And who's going to be actually playing? Who's going to be healthy and who's going to be active during the
Mhm.
playoffs? That would be the concerns. But I mean, there could be some worries with their centers going up against Jokic in the playoffs or going against the Timberwolves in the playoffs. But they got this 2016 All Star team and they're all healthy.
Yeah, I mean, this like I was very skeptical about the move to get Harden, and I still am because it's February, and like we've seen it work out in the regular season and even in the first few rounds of the playoffs. Um, who knows if it continues to work out? Like once they have to play the Nuggets, or they have to see the Timberwolves in the playoffs. But I think in terms of just pure like firepower, they're one of the most unbeatable teams right now. And I think that as the games get more intense, as the stakes go up, the defense will get better because of how good Y and PG are on that side. Like these are two of the best two-way players in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they've gotten a little bit older, but
Well, and this has
like
been the
when you
vision the whole time, and they're finally healthy together.
yeah, right. So I think it definitely a big part of it is will they stay healthy? And the other part of it is just Harden. Like what happens when the playoffs come around? And it's like I feel like we keep convincing ourselves, not even convincing ourselves, but just keep asking ourselves the same question every year. Where it's like, well, is this the year that like he doesn't blow a series? And I think it helps that he's the third best player on this roster right now. Um, I don't know if it's enough to get them through. I guess that's a conversation we'll have in a few months. But like right now, I think that they're the second best team in the West, regardless of standings.
I think they're right up there. I have a couple other West teams above them just because the West is. It's hard to get at these. You got to
It's
nitpick at these
loaded.
top. Yeah, you got to nitpick at the top for these
You
West
do have to
teams.
nitpick.
Um, so I do I like the Clippers a lot, and it seems like there's a lot of buzz. Everyone in the mate, like everyone thinks that there's a chance that they could make it to the finals this year. This would be their year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
no, I think like this is definitely the best chance they've had by far.
I agree. I 1,000% agree. And it's funny, like
Yeah, it's almost like a survival game with them. It's like, can they make it to the playoffs fully healthy?
that's the
You got
key.
four dudes that are 34 years old.
Yeah,
It'd be a
that's the
battle.
key. It'll be those last couple games. I wonder if
And they're
they're
not allowed. They haven't been allowed to load manage, right?
it's weird. They can't rest like two of their stars. I'm pretty sure they can rest one of them, but I don't think they can
Okay.
rest two of them. But I'm pretty sure. I'm guessing all four of them count as stars. They all have them.
Not Westbrook.
Yeah,
Although,
probably
like,
not
people
anymore.
show up to see him.
Oh yeah, there's a Westbrook following.
Like, yeah, it's
It's
weird.
never gone away. All right. Speaking
All right.
of Westbrook. Oh wait, no. Actually, no. Your fifth team's different. I forgot. Go ahead.
I got the Timberwolves at 5. I
Okay.
know that they're the 1 seed in the West. I'm not fully sold yet on this team. And I think it might be a predetermined bias that, like, I don't like Cat. I'm not a Cat guy, and I've seen Gobert just get completely neutralized in the postseason. It was against the Clippers actually that did it to him when he was on the Jazz and he was Defensive Player of the Year. And it's like his presence out there is awesome, but when you just space the floor against them and he has to go out and guard the three, he can't do it. And I'm curious as to how that's going to work. But this Timberwolves team, who, like, they're just not that great of a scoring offense. Like, you have Cat and you have Edwards, and then, like, I don't know, like Jaden McDaniels doesn't really do it for me. You got Mike Conley, who's like 1,000. Um, don't know if they just might have not have enough guys score points. Like, when, like, Edwards is gonna have to be ball dominant in the playoff.
Yeah. The thing that let me. I'm gonna do a little bit of both on convincing you and agreeing with you. Because
Okay.
I have them a little bit higher, not too much higher, but a little bit higher. And the Gobert argument, those Utah teams were not fit to. They were not fit for when they spread out Gobert. The secondary defenders on the team, the wing defenders, were not uh were not able to make the right switches and help out Gobert, so it wasn't all on him, and that's why he looked exposed as he did. That can still happen. They can still space the floor and make him guard the three, and that can still happen. But their secret weapon is Nas Reed, a starting center that is just chilling on their bench as their sixth man. He can come in and guard that three. He's a little bit quicker than Gobert. He's still good defensively. He's still a big man on the inside, and that's their secret weapon for the playoffs when that happens. On the offensive side, there's a maturity issue with this team. They have Conley as their only like adult in the room, and then it's just hey, watch Edwards do cool things. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Watch Carl Anthony Towns shoot a bunch of threes. Um, you're
Like
right.
50 shots in a game.
Yeah, when come playoff time, it's a big drop off between. So Carl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards scored 22 points and 26 points respectively, and then it goes down to 13 points a game. There's not even a
Mm-hmm.
16 points a game score. There's not a 15 points a game score on this team. And then their starting point guard is 10 points a game. Jaden McDaniels, starting small forward, is 10 points a game. They're great on the defensive side of the ball. Mike Conley's a great leader. They do other things on the floor, but come playoff time, when the whole focus is going to be on Anthony Edwards, they're going to let Carl Anthony Towns shoot. I'll give you like we watched them lose to Charlotte when Carl Anthony Towns scored 60. So they're going to let him shoot in the playoffs as long as Anthony Edwards doesn't do
Mm-hmm.
anything.
Jordan rules him.
Mm-hmm. The
He
what's
stays on the ground.
the thing going for them though is their defense. They have a lot of
Yeah.
size and they can really disrupt other teams. But I do wonder about their offense in the
Yeah, and the other thing that worries me about defense in the regular season is, like, I feel like it's a lot of just effort,
playoffs. Mm-hmm.
you know? And it's a pretty young team, and, like, you have a guy who's proven to be one of the best defenders in the league in Gobert. And then like you just have guys that have energy. And I don't know, like come playoff time when it gets amped up and like everyone's playing with that same energy. I don't know, like it's not going to be as big of an advantage. And I'm not saying that like to knock them, like they've earned their first in defensive rating, like they've been the best defensive team so far this year. I just worry about like points at the end of games.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's guys that you play against that if you're in a close game, they're getting the bucket no matter what, right? Like think about a Durant or a Kawhi, where it's like even if you have the best defense in
That's
the
what they
league,
hope. That's what they
I'm
hope
not
Anthony Edwards
trusting.
is.
Right, and he's got to be that, and it's a big ask.
It
So
is. And he's
that's where my
I think the other key
my
is he's like 20 years
where
old.
it's like 22.
Is he 22? Yeah, I knew it was 20 to 22. Yeah, 22 years old.
Right there, yeah,
He's got a long time before he's leading them to the finals, and they might be the
yeah,
one seed this year. And everyone's gonna be talking about on Twitter how it reminds them of Utah, and it's all the same story. But you got to be patient with these guys, and come
yeah.
24 and
It's
25,
not a
he's
Utah
gonna be
situation. You're right about that.
yeah. All right, next up,
This is another team that's like they are. We criticize them a lot when they made the Gobert trade. We didn't really understand the fit, but um,
they made it
clearly we're
work.
being proven wrong.
Yeah, they made it work.
They made it work, and they're doing things the right way. It's another team kind of like the Knicks, where like I don't think the finals is in their reach this year, but they just continue to build the right way. Like they're on the right track. I mean, obviously you're on the right track to the first seed in the freaking conference.
Yeah, and it's funny. Both these teams that we just ranked, we didn't like their latest trade that
Yeah,
they made. All right. Next up, number 4, I have the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I have Thunder as well.
Okay, nice. So
This is the most fun team in the NBA, I think. Like when you can just throw out guys that are like 22, 23, it's the whole freaking team. I know, like we talked at the deadline, how they should have gotten another point guard, like a vet. Um, to get Gordon Hayward, right? That was the
yeah, that was the
deadline
big move.
edition.
Yeah.
Um, but Chet is like has become one of my favorite players to watch, I think. And I alluded to it earlier, but SGA is having an MVP level season, and he's just become the guy who's like I'm not talking about a Kawhi or a Durant when somebody at the end of the game doesn't matter who's guarding them, you need them to get a bucket and they go do that. He's becoming that for the Thunder, and that's something that you need to make a deep playoff run. Like you need a guy where there's 20 seconds left. We're not calling a play. His ball. We're going to get him in a 1-on-1, and we're going to live and die by that. And I think there's no question that he's that guy. I think they're like, it's hard to say that they're not a finals contender because of how good they. It's like kind of a similar situation to Timberwolves because I feel like they're still a year away from competing with like teams that have been at before. This is the brightest future of any team in the league right now. Like you somehow like got shy as along with those 18 draft picks or whatever, and you just nailed every pick. Chet like missed a whole year. You're worried about that? Doesn't matter. And they have a good bench. It's just that everyone's like 17 years old. That's the only. It's
Yeah, and
literally the
that's
only
the
problem with this
issue.
team. No,
That's the issue is that
it's
they.
the only problem.
Yep.
They're
And
fourth in offense and defense.
you're right. Everything you said is correct. They are the most fun team to play out there or to watch out there. They have every piece you could want on a team. But the only issue is all the pieces are a little too small to fit in the puzzle.
Yeah, they're like our age.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have
Guy's 25 and he's like the oldest player on the team before
yeah,
Hayward.
they traded for Hayward, and the only reason that anyone could come up with is they just needed an old guy in the room. They signed
Yeah, he's like
I
their dad.
I don't know if this is recent or not because I know they cut they cut Poku, which was I was devastated when
Mm-hmm.
they cut Poku, but they got Bismack Biyombo, which as we were talking about after the trade deadline, as a Chet insurance, I'll take some Bismack Biyombo. He's seen some wars, he's seen some battles, and
Oh yeah,
that's what this team needs. That's what
he's
this
been
team
on the
needs.
front line.
That this team needs to be on the front line. Shea has been into some playoff series. He faced the Rockets when CP3 was on their team, and then after that they need this is it. They're probably gonna make at least to the second round, and it's gonna be like kind of like the welcome home party for this finals run finals not run but finals hype that they're gonna get for the next like 5 years. And they might be like 2 or 3 years away, but the hype is gonna start this year when everyone sees them on the national stage in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think they're 2 or 3 years away. I think like this is the year where they need. That's all. And it wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world for them to make a run to the Western Conference Finals.
No, I wouldn't think so either.
And the West is just so good, and there's so much in still.
And there's even the bad teams are like the Lakers and at this point like the Kings.
Yeah, right. And the Warriors. It's like you don't want to see Steph Curry in the first round.
No, and the Kings, I wouldn't want to see the Kings in the first round either.
Yeah,
even though I think they don't have
every team from like 1 to 10.
Yeah, like oh great, OKC's the 2 seed. They get to face the Warriors, even though the Warriors have been bad all year. It's like great, congrats, you get to face the Warriors.
Yeah,
but you're right. Definitely by far the brightest future. They have all these assets and like 17 more draft picks. They're going to be loaded for bear.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited to see what they can do. And it's funny. I'm excited to see what Gordon Hayward can do on this team if he actually ends up playing or not.
Mm-hmm.
That was like such a random move. And let's shout out to the Hornets out there. They got the kid from Trey Mann from Florida. He was in that OKC deal for Gordon Hayward, and he's been balling on the Hornets.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think it's like they're not gonna miss him, but it'll be. I hope to see Gordon Hayward play. Basically.
Yeah, me too. In a role outside of just team dad.
So 3, I'm guessing you have the Clippers.
Yep.
And then
which I'm like, I was looking back at their schedule, and it's tough to put them ahead of the Thunder and the Timberwolves when they just lost to both of them, like their last 5 games. But I already said it, so I'm thinking about it.
That's funny. Recency bias comes in.
Yeah.
All right. So that means
we have the same top 2.
Yeah. Unless you thought
And I wanted to put the Nuggets at 1. I did. It was my initial thought.
I've always been under this rule where the defending champs, until proven otherwise, should be the number 1.
Yes.
But I'm not gonna not put my team
as the number 1. I'm like when you break it down, like I think it would be malpractice to not have the Celtics at 1. They're first in offensive rating and second in defensive rating. Do you understand how like ridiculous that is?
It's nuts. This team is nuts.
Like this is one of the most dominant teams since the 73-9 Warriors. They're on that level, I think.
They just like beat the shit out of terrible teams. Yeah. They whoop on bad teams, and the only thing that
the
scares
Nets by
me is
50 the other night.
Oh, I remember. That shit was devastating. For the Nets. I mean, come on. How do you what do you even come out to halftime with that? They scored 100 at half. But not 100 at half. I think it was like 70 something at half. But what scares me with this team, I've already talked about, is end of the game situation. Tight game, important game, and they have the good defense for them. Earlier, before the trade deadline. They played the Nuggets in a game that ended very similar to every playoff loss ever. They had a really weird Celtics or Lakers loss at home with the LeBron just never
That was
played.
weird. And
Yeah,
Austin Reeves just had like 30
he just like
out of
tore him
nowhere.
up. And that was weird just because like this season specifically, like there hasn't been that many games like that where it's like, oh, team's just not in it today. Um,
Yeah.
but for all in all, as of right now, when they're healthy and Porzingis is out there and everything's clicking on cylinders, they're unstoppable. They have even more
Mm.
depth now, and like it's been theirs title to lose for like the past 2 years, but this really seems like this is it. This has to be this has to be the year that they win the finals.
Yeah, and like we were a little worried about the Porzingis fit. He fits perfectly.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't think you can debate that at all.
No,
When you watch one of their
can't believe I
games
had
and you
questions
watch
about it.
him, like when you key in on him, you're like, this is literally like the perfect offense for him to play in right now.
I completely agree. I can't believe I was worried about it. I can't believe I was worried about how he'd fit in and how he's been playing. The only worry is that can he stay on the floor and can he be out there for
Hmm.
the playoffs and stuff. That's the same thing with Drew Holiday. Like he's just getting a little old, and he needs to be
I
able
can't
to
believe
go
they
for.
got Drew Holiday that easily.
Oh, I know. And he's like not, and with the emergence
Doesn't
of
make any sense.
how good Derek White has been, he's almost an afterthought sometimes.
Yeah, he is. He's the fifth best player in the starting lineup.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's an insane lineup. Um, and they got at the trade deadline, they got Xavier Tillman, who they haven't really used yet, and they got Jaden Springer, who they haven't really used yet. So it'll be interesting to see if they fit in. But if not, like they have the guys right now. So we'll have to see what they do in the playoffs. Let's talk about the Nuggets. I don't want to not give them
Yeah,
some credit here. The most cohesive team in the league, the team that knows what they're doing, I think the most out of the league. And
had an off year.
they have had an off year. I don't think
There's definitely a little finals hangover here.
that's what I was gonna say. I think it's a little bit of a finals hangover. Like let's just try to keep a 5 seed. We know how we can win and
Yeah,
how we can
get in.
play these guys, and we'll worry about effort when we need to. I guess there'll be nights where
Right.
Jokic just doesn't even shoot the basketball because he doesn't even feel like it. Like like you could see the stat line. It's like, oh, he
That's
took
last night, I think they beat.
against the Wizards. I'm sure.
And yeah, he
That
still had
seems
21. He was 10 of 10 from the floor. Though,
yeah. It's like he'll
like
just be
10
like,
shots for him is nothing.
no, and it's probably like, oh, these are 10 shots that they completely get. Like I'm gonna score. Like it's because you got 10 for 10.
They
You
were
knew
all
exactly.
like
Yeah,
just the little like one hand dinkers from inside the paint.
it's just like not even fair.
He had 19 rebounds and 15 assists also without missing a shot.
That's
Guys,
insanity.
disgusting.
That's insanity. What are you supposed to do against that?
He is the most incredible player. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
What happened to Denny? What happened to the 40 piece? Come back to the 5 after All-Star break.
The momentum broke.
I know the
Momentum
damn
broke.
All-Star break.
Yeah.
Terrible. I
What do you
saw
have? 5 points the other night?
I saw the video from this game where Jordan Poole just bounce passes it like straight to a nugget.
It's like every night there's
It's
something cool. And he gets way too much hate.
I feel
It's
bad
like
for
I
him
see on
too.
Snapchat, well, like one of the stories, it's like Jordan Poole makes the worst play in NBA history. I'm like, all right, like
He's
you're just
so
taking cheap shots at this point because he's easy to hate on. He does suck,
he's
in all
terrible.
fairness.
I
It's
can't
like
believe
it's cheap
the fall from
for
grace
cheap
that
shots.
he's having. They are cheap
I
because like
know.
it's got to be making it worse, and it's just this poor guy is never gonna. I don't know what he's
So,
gonna do. The
what are you gonna do?
but what the issue I think for the Nuggets is their 9-10 man rotation isn't as good as it was last year. But as we were talking
Hmm.
about with other teams with the Mavericks, once you cut that down to 8, it's the same team as last year pretty much. They're missing DeAndre
They don't have Bruce
Jordan.
Brown,
No, do they have Jordan? Never mind.
and
My bad. Bruce Brown, that's what it was. They're missing
well,
Bruce
he
Brown.
didn't. And Jeff Green was the other guy they brought up the bench, right?
Yeah. So the
And then like a
Christian
little bit
Braun's
of
taking
Christian
that
Brown,
role. Yeah, Christian Brown's taking that role. Reggie Jackson's taking that role. And rookies like
Mr. November, or Mr. June.
Mr. June.
Which
Yeah,
one was
Mr.
it?
June. Mr. June.
November. Mr. October was baseball Reggie
Yeah,
Jackson. Yeah,
Mr. June is
right.
this
Got
one.
it.
And they have a couple of rookies that have been trying to fill that role, but they haven't gotten enough minutes and gotten enough flow to get their game in.
Yeah.
They just need to stay healthy. They're thinner than they were last year, so they need to stay healthy and make sure their guys are together.
Definitely, yeah.
With how effortless Jokic plays basketball, it's almost like you almost feel stupid not picking them to go to the finals and win the finals.
Yes.
But
yep, it really will be a fascinating playoff run. There's so many good teams, at least in the West.
It's the deepest. This whole league itself has been the deepest that the NBA's been in our whole lifetime for sure. Like look at
it's awesome.
if you look at and all you need to do is look at the West All Stars to figure that one out, because the East All Stars, they get a little hairy. There's a couple Scotty Barnes thrown in there and Paolo, which I like Paolo a lot. But
Scotty Barnes will be a superstar in this league.
One of the best quotes ever. All right, well you're running out of time, so let's just do this parlay. We'll have to skip College Corner for today. We're doing something new, something I'm very excited for. So I have one of these.
Yes.
It is a 2023-2024 NBA trading cards, NBA hoops by Panini. 8 cards per pack. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna pick out 3 cards from here, and if they're all 3 available to be in a parlay, we're gonna make a parlay out of them. If not, I'm gonna replace them with another random one.
Draw another.
Yep. So
I'm gonna DraftKings ready to go.
All right, you have them up. I should get my FanDuel up before I pick. All right. I'm picking out of the middle of the pack. First player we have. Who is this? Mark Williams.
Wiggins.
Mark Williams.
Oh, Mark Williams. Okay.
All right. Mark Williams. Are they playing today? Should we do if they're not
They're
playing
playing at Golden State.
Oh no, they're playing today. All right, sweet. What's Mark Williams' line?
Is he healthy?
Like? Oh, is he not available? No, I don't see him on FanDuel. Mark Williams.
He might be out.
That's brutal, especially for my Charlotte fans out there, because I know that if. Oh, yeah. I don't think he's playing today. Won't play. Yeah.
Yeah, lingering back issues.
Well, that's a shame. The first one was a dud. We're going back in. Who we got? Scoot Henderson from the Trailblazers. A rookie card.
All right.
That. Scoot Henderson.
Huge. Save that.
So who's...
They're going up against the Nuggets.
Okay. What's his assist line?
I don't hate his lines either.
No, Scoot out too? You gotta be shitting me. This is what stinks about the NBA. It's like you can't just pull out a card and pick a player because God forbid
I did the injury list. Damn.
Yeah. So he's not playing.
All right. Well.
All right, we're 0 for 2. We still got. I still got 3 more packs over here, so we can just keep pulling all.
All right. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine.
Oh, Tobias Harris. The 76ers. They played last night. No, they're playing tonight. They're playing the Cavs.
Most teams are playing back to back.
Gotta be playing. Come on, weird. Tobias.
They're hosting the Cavaliers.
Player points. Tobias Harris is playing.
He
All right,
is
in. He's there.
17.5 is the points.
Okay.
1.5 threes.
I just went to that. I like the 1.5 threes. I'm not gonna lie. Plus 180. I got it. You can get it at 180 plus 180.
Pretty good. Let's see his game log.
What about his rebounds? What's his game logs on rebounds looking
Last 4 was 4 rebounds, 7, 6, 7.
like? It's at 5.5.
What's his total at?
It's at
5.5? I mean, he's hit it in 4 of the last 5. Last night he hit it in 4 straight. Playing against the Cavs, that should be a close-ish game, right?
Yeah, that should be close.
The 3-pointers does not hit very often.
Okay.
There's
So
a reason that's plus odds.
it looks like his rebounds are what we should be working here.
I don't hate the rebound.
All right, I'm gonna write it down. All right, next player. Come on, give us something good. Malik Monk? Are the Kings playing today?
Sacramento. I don't see it.
No, they're not playing today. Let's see if not, we'll add him in for like the parlay tomorrow. I guess we'll see if we can get someone who's playing.
Yeah.
Today. Devin Vassell from the Spurs. They're playing the Lakers. Devin Vassell playing. Let's see player points. Devin Vassell, 21.5 points. Do you want to take his under?
Yeesh.
21.5 seems very high for Devin
That
Vassell.
can't be right. Let's see. He goes under 58% of the time. His last 3, he's averaging 17. Yeah, I don't hate the under.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate the under at all. What's his
Is LeBron playing?
Yes.
Assuming he is.
Yeah, he's on the book, so I'm guessing he's playing. All right, yeah, I'm down for under 21.5. Devin Vassell, make it easy. Let's not overthink.
Not
All right.
down.
Now, there's only a couple cards left, so I'm shuffling them. Boom. Who we got? Keontae George. Rookie. I don't know if he plays. George
That's a
playing?
weird pull. About that.
Come on. George. Well, Utah's not playing today. All right.
Okay, no, he's been off.
Sadly, Utah's not playing, though.
The Utah? Yeah, they don't.
All right.
Oh well.
Let's see what else we got. Well, I already looked. And Marvin Bagley. The Wizards aren't playing, right? Oh, they are. Should we take
No,
Marvin
they are.
Bagley
They're
or
playing
should
at
we
the
take
Thunder.
All right, should we take Marvin Bagley or should we take Donovan Mitchell? Let's do both.
I mean, we do have doing both. All right.
Yeah, let's do both. All right.
Breaking our only rule here.
That we had 3. All right.
Bagley.
His points are 11.5. His rebounds are 6.5.
Is it 6.5? And they miss a lot of shots.
6.5 rebound. I like 6.5 rebounds.
He's the only rebounder on the.
I was gonna
him
say
and
like
Denny
he
are the guys who get
yeah
rebounds.
he's in the Gafford role and Gafford averaged like 10.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's hammer it.
All right.
He's gotten 10 and 13 his last 2 games without Gafford.
The bag man. I believe in the bag man.
Bagley.
All right.
Yep. All right.
Also, let's
Love that.
shout out Bagley.
Who's our other one?
I
Mitchell?
love his resurgence. Yeah, Mitchell, who's playing the Sixers. How is that? I'm trying to find the lines. All right. His points are 26.5. That seems a little rich for my blood.
A lot.
3.5 threes. That is also a little rich for my blood.
I know. I'm a huge fan of any of these.
I really like his
5.5 rebounds is a lot.
I have him at FanDuel has him at 4.5, but 5.5 is a lot.
Okay.
What's his
DraftKings
average?
have him. He averages 5.2.
Didn't play last night, so
Ooh,
yeah,
think he's
maybe.
scoring a lot then?
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe he's taking the load, maybe getting some scoring. And what did we say that was? 26.5. Ugh, so high. The average is 28 though, so like we're
What if
getting a point there.
just because it's like we're throwing it in, why don't we take a lower total?
Okay, so like 20
Like
points
DraftKings has him like 25.5. Even like, yeah, even like 20 points.
to score 25 is plus 165. Not plus,
Wait,
it's
say that again?
minus. It's minus 165.
Minus. All right, yeah, let's do that.
All right, to score 25 points. So D Mitch score 25 points. I like it. All right. And that's our first ever mystery parlay here on the Wise Guys. If you enjoyed, I hope you liked it, and comment how to make it better or suggestions and whatnot. Chris, do we have enough time for College Corner, or you got to wrap it up?
We can go through real quick.
All right. Only thing I got to say is the Gamecocks play their next home game at 12 o'clock.
Oh, not again.
At noon. It was one
They
last
put a bit
time, and I was
early.
it was one last time, and I was in shambles. So like noon, I really gotta go to bed. It just killed my next week's Friday night. It's the last Friday
Yeah,
night
that's
before
tough.
spring break, and it's completely gone. It's ruined. Um, my worried is like I really don't know when I need to get in line. Like, is this like a 9 o'clock type deal? Probably not that.
Oh.
No, definitely not that. But gates open up at 11, so
I mean, like, other people aren't going to wake up that early, right?
10.
That's the mindset that I always have.
I know it's like people are actually gonna be in line at
Maybe they
10:15.
will.
I don't know. And
I don't
the
know.
last game, the LSU game, which I talked about, I missed. I was like a minute late, and I got second
Yeah.
row instead of first. So, and it's like the workers were they were like, "Oh, I thought you're normally in the front row." I'm like, "Come on, like, I suck. Like, it's not my fault. I tried my best."
That's brutal.
Um, but yeah, that's the only thing I got.
Nothing on the team itself.
No, I mean they haven't played a game since we last talked. The LSU did beat Kentucky,
Okay.
so that looks good for us. Florida has been chugging along, and every team that they face the rest of the season are all quad one games. So
That's huge.
yeah, they have a big opportunity to really boost their net rankings and crap like that, or their KenPom. So
You don't like Ken Palm.
I'm not a big fan of KenPom. I understand the KenPom. I get the logistics behind the KenPom. But they have a huge opportunity to prove those guys and all the nerds wrong and get some quad one wins or whatever.
I hope so.
I hope so too. They need to show some signs of life. In their last couple weeks. We talked about their stumble the last two games. I'm not too worried about it. I think this team is surprisingly built a little well for March. Has a lot of depth. Has two good point guards and a third good point guard off the bench. So I think they're low key built for March, and maybe some of these bigger SEC teams are just the ones that are really doing them dirty. So who knows? But we don't have a game until
Good outlook.
yeah, I haven't had a game since last weekend, so nothing new on the floor. Also before you go, there's gonna be a soccer game at Williams-Brice Stadium in August. They just announced that today. Liverpool versus Manchester United.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
It's like a
like
huge game.
yeah,
That
it's
one,
like massive.
right?
Yeah, that's
Interesting.
big.
Gonna go?
If I'm in town, I'll try to go. That seems cool. It seems like something worth maybe going to because I have one more semester here, and so that might be worth
Yeah.
going, moving in a little bit early for.
Yeah. Right in your backyard.
Yeah,
Um, I am at the point where I don't know what nights we have games. On
sad
Tuesday
day.
night, I found out that we lost to Wisconsin,
No.
and it was close. Uh, they lost by 4 at Wisconsin, which I'm sure they covered the spread, so I guess that's something. So, no real update on the team this year, but
Oh yeah,
we
you
did
guys
get a
got a
five-star
sweet
commitment.
recruit. You guys got a sweet recruit.
Derek Queen from Baltimore, playing down in Florida right now. He's the 10th or 12th ranked player in the country, depending on which rankings you look at. So yeah, that's a pretty big deal. It
That's
was
huge.
one of the longest recruitments I've ever seen, maybe the longest, where it was like he was supposed to announce in November, and it just kept getting pushed back, and we're like, "There's no chance he's actually signing here." It keeps getting pushed back, like something's off. But I guess he just wanted to play at home, which is awesome. His mom's been coming to like all the games, always wearing Maryland gear. So maybe he's just a mama's boy, but he's sick. I've watched his highlights. He seems like he's not like your typical Big Ten big man. Like he can pass, he can handle the
Are you saying
ball.
he's athletic?
They're like, yeah, they're like he has hands, and I was like, what? Like, we haven't had a big man that has hands in 7 years. Um, so yeah, he's their first 5-star since Jalen Smith, and obviously we know how that turned out. So hopefully, like I don't know, there's not really any guys left in this cycle, but hopefully the class from this year is gonna improve. I know that like it's such a big leap going from your first year in college ball to your second, and then even your second to your third. So I think the future is bright for this team. They just need to keep doing well recruiting wise, and like if you have good players, you're gonna win games.
Well, and this is a
So future is bright. This is a bad season, but
this is a transfer portal like eye opener though. They get to play with a 5-star, the number 12
yep,
kid in the country, who I'm sure a couple of the guys in the transfer portal probably played some sort of AAU ball with him and know him from somewhere
oh
or
yeah,
shit like that. So that just opens up. I mean, it's a great opportunity for Maryland here. And all the quotes of that guy was sweet. He wants to bring a championship home. This is all about home for him. Um, and I'm happy. It's a nice little silver lining for your terrible season. Um,
yes, it is.
it's almost
I
like
couldn't like they just
you
kept
guys got a
losing
draft
games. And
pick.
I'm like, there's no way.
It's almost like you
Yeah,
guys got a
you
draft
we
pick.
tanked.
Yeah, you guys tanked the season for this kid.
Yeah.
And it seems like it could be worth it. The only thing that sucks is that you guys can't get your I'm totally blanking on his name right now, but your point guard to play with him, who's 40 years old.
Jameer. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a shame he's
that's
gonna have to
okay.
finally graduate.
No. I mean, he's only been here 2 years. But yeah, it sucks for him to go out like this.
But
Oh well,
it is what it is. Um, you had to go at 6 or 5:30. That's the time. Thank you
right on time.
all for listening. We'll see everyone on on Tuesday, I believe. Yeah, probably Tuesday. I don't see why not. We'll see everyone on Tuesday.
You
And
Tuesday.
thank you all for listening. Have a great weekend and